Hey guys, I'm back. You guys know what this is. You getting tired of this background? This is the third or fourth. This is the fourth copyright removal. Got to re-upload a knife, but I like this one. I hate the video. Oh, the early days. Not that the modern days. I was gonna say the Newton days. That goes back to something ridiculous my youngest little brother Patrick said when he talked about the olden days and the Newton days when he was like very little. Anyway, I love this knife because the CRKT Razel, however you want to pronounce it, one of my favorite folding knives. But this was my second foray into C-TEK, and I love this knife. And I remember what happened to this knife. I did sell this knife because this couple, that sounds weird anytime you start a sentence with this couple, but a couple that watches my channel, they loved it so much, and they emailed me like 3 times just saying like, are you ready to sell that knife? And I was like, you know what, if you want it that much, fine. If it if it was really going to go into the hands of somebody that loved it. So this was August of 2012. I guess I did not come home in September from that deployment. The hell did I come home? Came home in August and left in September. That's what it was. I came home in August, left in September. Must have been. Yeah. Came home right at the end of August and then left in September. That's how it worked. Okay. So anyway, I really like this knife. I hate the video, but enjoy.
Hey, I'm back, and I know that everybody is anxiously waiting for the Benchmade remake and giveaway video, and believe me, they're underway. I'm still waiting for some supplies to come in that I ordered. People have given me some great feedback and some great ideas on what to do with these knives, and I'm really taking that to heart. I want everybody to know that I am doing these knives not just for what I want, but what people say they want to see. And very fortunately, there's a lot of agreement among everybody that's interested in these knives as to what they want to see and how they want to see it done. And between the two different knives, I'm sure that I'm going to come up with something that everybody will see and say, hey, you know, I had some influence in that. So it's on the way, I promise. I've been getting some really great feedback on the actual Benchmade hard use test videos leading up to the giveaway. So thanks everybody for your input on those, and I'm glad that I made something that people like so much. I had a great time doing it. Anyway, one of the most common suggestions or wants that people have to see these knives remodeled is to use the C-TEK material that I showed a little while ago. And that's what I wanted to do from the outset. I had always intended to remake these knives with the C-TEK. I don't have a lot of experience with this C-TEK at all. So I decided before I just throw it out there and remake these really expensive, really nice knives with this stuff, I wanted to get some practice with it. And then I figured since I'm doing that anyway, I might as well document it and throw another video up since it's going to be a while till I get my next Benchmade video done. So as the test bed, I decided to use the good old CRKT Razel. I have a couple videos where I talk about this knife. I love this knife. I think everybody should have one of these in their collections. I'm going to pause right here to apologize. My hands, whenever you see them in the video, are usually rough and all beat up because I'm in the military. I work with my hands. I work out in the field. I do stuff with them all the time. And I'm one of the most accident-prone knife workers in the world. So I always have some cuts and scrapes and stuff. Working on one of my custom ones. Just the other night, I was doing some work with this old girl right here. Some of you may remember my video entitled On the Road to My Own Knife Design. Anyway, I had cut myself with this, sliced my thumb accidentally when I was deployed. I did the exact same thing just the other night because this blade is so super wicked sharp. I just was careless. But anyway, Sam has decided that if I'm going to be working with my hands so much and showing them in videos, I need to start getting manicures, which is a little too metro for me, I think. But anyway, I apologize if anybody finds it gross or yucky that my hands are all torn up all the time, but that's the way they're going to be. Back to this video. So the CRKT Razel, I figured, was a great test bed to use the C-TEK material because it's such a nice large-handled knife and just gives you lots of possibilities. It's such a cool-looking knife. It's so different from other knives, too, that I figured it would be a good test bed. Fortunately, I have a couple of them sitting around. I have this one, which is just kind of a stock model. And this is a little bit older, by the way. Just little info, little trivia knowledge for everybody here. There's two different types of CRKT Model 4035 Razels out there. There's kind of an older one and a newer one. The older one has a cutout on the micarta scale here for this weird pocket clip. and more of a rounded, actually even harder to use liner lock than the newer version. So anyway, just FYI, I have this one that I had done some custom work on while I was deployed. There's a video about this one. I have some blue and black G10 scales on the handle here that I did. I have my basic stock model. I had another one that I decided I was going to work with. And the first thing I did was I gave the blade a nice stone wash, which, you know, anybody that's watched any of my videos recently realizes I'm completely 100% obsessed with stone washing now. I just love the way it looks. I think it's really classy. So I gave a stonewash blade, and I decided I was going to work with the green matrix C-TEK for this. So I got as far as cutting out one of the scales before I decided I was going to go ahead and document this whole process. Number one, I love that it's so translucent. I really like that. That's what I love about the Jade G10 so much that I use all the time, that it really lets light through. However, I decided that as a backing, I'm going to use this. It looks black here on the camera, I guess, but it's actually forest green G10 0.3-inch liner. You're still going to get light coming in from around the edges, but you're going to get that nice dark background. Just to get a little close up there, I think that's going to look amazing, actually. And if the camera focuses here, I mean, just look at that. That just looks awesome to me. Now, this is bright and shiny. One of the things I got to practice, I need to figure out how to buff it out and grind it to keep it that shiny, because I think that's one of the keys to making the C-TEK stuff look so nice. I just did a little bit of testing to try buffing this out and everything and see what it's going to take, and actually it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. In fact, it was a bit easier than shining up G10. So here's just a look at what the rough grind looks like, and this is with a 60 grit sanding drum to get the shaping done. This is with just a little bit of coverage with a 120 grit sanding drum, the fine sanding drum. Right? And then on this side, this is the original shine, by the way, which I haven't been able to duplicate that yet, but I'm still working on it. But this is with 1,000 grit sandpaper, 320, then a 600, then a 1,000 grit sandpaper buff. Then I took some fine buffing compound and just put it on a little, you know, one of the little Dremel white marshmallowy things. So that actually looks pretty good. And if I keep doing that, I think I could end up back to this kind of shine for the whole thing when it's all done, with a little polish on it. So, okay, that problem solved. Don't worry about it, folks. I got it covered. Here are the mostly finished scales. They look really shiny right now because they're wet. I just washed them off. But these are them after the initial grind. And it's kind of hard to see the pattern here. I gave it a pattern that just gave lots of texture and lots of grippiness, and just to try out some different grinds, see how it's going to look. Here we have the difference, just sanded. This is now completed with the buffing compound, with the polish and everything. This is beautiful. And so here she is, all finished, looking great. Start with the blade. The blade, if you can tell, I don't know if you can pick it up here, I have put a razor's edge on both the chisel ground front and the cutting surface, and then reground all the serration. The scales turned out amazing, and they are highly polished, nice and shiny, super smooth. What I ended up doing was I went back and I did a whole new treatment on them. I started with 320 grit, went to 400, 600, 1000, 1500, 2000, and finally 3000, and then buffed them out. And that original shiny, lustery sheen is back. It looks amazing. And the C-TEK pattern looks great throughout the entire thing. One side, and now let's show the back. This whole thing is super nicely contoured, whether you're right or left-handed. Just these grooves fit the fingers really well. You can get at that the liner lock really nice and easy, and then your thumb can wrap right around there. It feels great to hold on to. The clip looks really good, nice and stone-washed. And then I wanted to do a backspacer, and I wanted to make the backspacer out of C-TEK, but I was going to use blue. But if you look at the way the C-TEK is, the aluminum isn't the full width of the actual material itself. So if I were to have shaved it down to have it nice and even, it would have been too slim to form the backspacer of this knife really well. Even though, oh, it's a shame, I really wanted to use the blue C-TEK. I'm very excited to use this on a project coming up real soon. But I went and, you know, I was thinking jade, but I always use jade, and I was just thinking which colors would look good. If I had some dark forest green, that would be really nice, but I didn't. So I went to the toxic zombie green, and just gave it a little bit of texture, and it's kind of actually free-floating a little bit right up here, so as you grip it, it sort of conforms. I think it looks really, really nice all put together. You've got the C-TEK scales you've got those forest green G10 liners on the back of them. You've got highly polished metal in between. Then you've got the stone wash on the clip and on the blade. This thing, and the action on it, you gotta forgive me because I have my thumb injury, but super smooth, great lockup, very little blade play. Pretty good centering on it. You know, it feels really nice and slick in your hand, but still you've got a good grip with the contouring and the texturing over there. So I'm really, really super happy with this. Came outside real fast just to show how really reflective and well polished and how gorgeous this stuff really does look in bright sunlight, like when you've got the light shining through it really nicely. One of the perfect materials for a really flashy, really fancy project. I really like the randomness of the matrix, although, you know, the honeycomb would look really, really nice as well, I'm sure. Just to get some more detail, if you look in the areas right here around the bolster area, I mean, you can see the way that the light just shines right through the C-TEK, and it looks amazing. God, I love the way that looks. Looking back, if I was going to do it again, I might use the honeycomb pattern. Final touch, just to make it all kind of universal shiny. Once I got everything locked in real tight, I got it put together really well, so nothing needed to be adjusted. I put a drop of epoxy over all the screws, so even the screw areas are nice and shiny. And I've got this thing adjusted up to where you'll never need to change it. It's working perfectly. You won't need to take it apart. If you do, you just drill through the epoxy and you can get in there and turn them, because it's just on the surface anyway. But boy, I love this knife. Now the question remains, what am I going to do with this knife? I don't really know. Pretty nice, one of a kind knife. Blade on this guy, nice and razor sharp. Makes those super nice little cuts with ease. Lastly, before I go, I've had a lot of questions and a lot of speculation as to what I'm actually doing with these Benchmade, so I want to give everybody a sneak peek right here. Here is a very nicely stone-washed 810 blade. So you can just barely see that nice Benchmade logo beneath the stonewash over here. Thumb studs also stone-washed, so you can get an idea of where the Contigo is going. In process right now of mirror shining this blade to get it super, super shiny. About halfway there right now, and again, you can see we've still got the Benchmade logo on that side looking nice and pretty, and the Cybert on that side. So when this is all done, it will be a mirror reflective finished blade. I was tempted just to keep it as is with just a little bit of this undercoating showing, because I thought it was kind of a sort of a classy, not really antiqued, but just a different kind of finish. But I think I'm going to go all the way with the mirror shine on it. If anybody likes the way this looks, you know, as is, drop me a note and let me know, but otherwise I'm going to continue with the plans. So there, like I said, just a little sneak peek at what we've got coming up for those two Benchmade remodels. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed working with the C-TEK. It was a good experience. Knife came out great. I'll probably try it on something else real soon. Great material. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back again real soon.